Okay, we need to address mental health in new mums because mental health is a very, very important matter that I feel like a lot of mums feel like they are not addressing enough, or that they are actually not allowed to address or allowed to feel, because mental health is something sometimes of a taboo subject under any normal circumstances. But as a new mom, especially if you're like a first time parent and you say, I'm mentally not doing well, that's a big, massive red flag for society, because as a mum, you need to, according to society at least, you need to be healthy, functioning, happy, content with yourself and with being a mother and motherhood and parenthood and all of these things. So society tells you, you as a mum need to be happy. Um, and so society tells you as a mum, you need to be happy all the time because you have a child. And that, of course, what I keep in mind is there's lots of people out there, lots of couples who have struggled with infertility or other reasons why they can't have children. And I'm very considerate of that fact. And I understand that if you have children, you can count yourself, really, really grateful that you do have children, that, other people struggle to conceive, struggle to have children for whatever reasons. And I shouldn't be sitting here and struggle with mental health. But even though I am considerate of people having issues, having children, I still also want to raise awareness that as a mum or dad, as a parent, you don't have to be happy all the time. It's okay to struggle. I can use an example, for instance, with the current situation. I don't want to say the word, but the worldwide bug that's going around, just in case, YouTube is canceling this video because I'm saying the name of what's going on. But a lot of people have struggled with that, either because they lost their job, isolation, the constant lockdown, losing loved ones and can't attend funerals, haven't seen their families in a while, all these things. So picture yourself in that environment and then being a first-time mum. My family doesn't live in the same country as I do. They live overseas. So my entire pregnancy, as well as my daughter being born, the first months now of my daughter, everything they missed completely. And at this point, I don't know when I will see them because our lockdown rules are quite tough here. So I've got my parents, I've got my siblings all overseas. Haven't seen them in over a year. It's been over a year I've seen them. Like I said, they missed absolutely everything. So I couldn't share that joy that I had, like my pregnancy and birth and all these things. My daughter's growing up not knowing that side of her family yet. I mean, I understand that 5 months she doesn't know people yet, but it's just a bit sad, especially since at the moment I don't know when she will meet them. And then with everything being closed, you can't meet other mums, so you are isolated to begin with, even like with or without a baby. At the moment, everyone, at least in this country especially, is quite isolated. And but then you give birth and you return to your house. And you can't leave your house because it's lockdown. You can't go anywhere. You can't meet your family, or especially if your family lives in a different country. Thank God for Skype and WhatsApp messaging and FaceTime and all that stuff, but it's not the same as meeting person to person. And before 2020 and the worldwide bug, new mums who were overwhelmed, they were able to meet other mums in person, and then they felt like, I'm part of a group. I'm not alone in this. Other mums struggle with some similar issues. You don't have that now. I mean, you can go online and you have online chats and stuff, but it's very, very different if you have a face-to-face meeting and like a change of scenery of your own house. I have been cooped up in this house for months and months and months. I mean, I've seen my in-laws, but that's about it. So it's it can weigh on you quite heavily if you're a new mom and everything's different, right? So I understand why we have to stay inside, and I understand that all of that is for important reasons, and I absolutely respect that. But in saying so, I also have to raise awareness of how much you probably struggle as a new mum, first time mum. Everything is new. Your entire world is turned upside down, and then on top of that, there's the worldwide bug. And some of you have probably not been able to see your family, like me. Like I said, my parents have not seen their grandchild yet. And I'm sure there's a lot of women in the same kind of situation at the moment. Um, and I do admit it is a struggle. And sometimes I am quite sad about that because I can't change anything. And then, of course, it's so easy for people to say you should just be happy and grateful, which I am. I am happy, and I'm very, very grateful that I'm healthy. My husband is healthy. My daughter's healthy. Nobody has lost their job yet because of the worldwide bug. We have a roof over our head. There's so many things to be thankful for. But I would be lying if I said that every day I wake up with a big smile on my face because life is so fantastic and I'm so grateful. I am not ungrateful, don't get me wrong, but you need to understand that for a lot of mums at the moment it is hard, especially if it's your very first time and you've never had babies and you don't know what to do and everything is so new and you just don't have the support because you can't see anyone. I mean, you have support as in like text messages from your loved ones, but you're cooped up in your house all day long with your baby. And especially if it's like a baby like mine that had issues in the beginning, and the first months was really hard, with colic and lots of crying and fussiness. Um, and you can't go and meet other mums. You can't go out there, go like to baby swimming classes, or all those little things that you normally do with a newborn or a baby, if it wasn't for those circumstances right now. And you don't have that. So I think there's a lot of mums out there cooped up in their house, haven't been able to see their family in a while, haven't been really able to address their issues. And if they wanted to address their issues and talk about it, they feel guilty because as a mum, you shouldn't feel that way. As a mum, you should be happy. You have a child now. That's all the happiness you need in your life. That's what people tell you. And as happy as my daughter makes me every day, sometimes it is hard. And we have to admit that, and not just that we admit that, but that people around us accept that. There's like obviously very different kinds of struggles. And someone who just lost their job struggles probably a lot more than me right now. So, or someone who is very ill at the moment, whether with a worldwide bug or a terminal illness, those are struggles that I can't compare with my struggles. So I understand that. But I think it is wrong that you should be belittled by other people, that your struggles don't matter because they're not as bad as other ones. I absolutely understand that you try to be considerate and you understand that people have struggles a lot worse than yours. But as a mum, you shouldn't feel belittled by other people because your struggles aren't bad enough. Your struggles still matter. Your issues still matter. Your mental health still matters. You're still the same person really that you were before you gave birth, with the same kind of feelings. So you still matter. And I feel that once you have a child, there's this whole idea that you as an individual, you don't matter as much anymore because now your entire personality is being a mum. And that means your feelings are kind of taking a bit of a backseat, and your mental health doesn't matter as much because it's your baby now. I understand. My baby is my priority, 100%. But does that mean that my feelings don't matter anymore and my mental well-being doesn't matter? Is that fair? We as new moms should able to say, I'm not doing so great. I'm actually struggling a little bit. I'm actually, even though I have had a child and I should be very happy, today I'm not feeling very happy. Today has been tough. Today I just want to sit in the corner and cry. We should be able to do these things and say these things openly without feeling like it's going to make us look like a bad mum. And unfortunately, we do feel that way. It feels almost a little bit like you're suppressing your issues because, I mean, I addressed that in a previous video about judgment, because people like easily judge you for whatever you say, whatever you do, if you don't function 100% as a mother. So if you're not really happy, you're kind of suppressing that because you want to come off strong. You want to obviously be the best kind of version that you can be as a mother for your child. You don't want other people to think she's a failure. You don't want other people to assume that you don't have anything under control because you're struggling. Just because you have a few unhappy days doesn't mean you're like severely depressed. However, if you are severely depressed, if you are fighting with postnatal depression and these kind of things, you should not feel like you have to suppress that and be and feel like you're a bad mum. But unfortunately, with society, you always, at the end of the day, you've had the toughest day. You've just been feeling down. You probably wanted to cry. You were not really happy, but yet you still have to put a smile on your face and say, I'm a mum now. I have a healthy baby. I need to be happy 24/7. It's not that easy. Not always. God, I've got like, sometimes emotions are roller coaster, right? And sometimes I look at my daughter and I couldn't be happier. Like when she smiles at me, that's my favorite thing in the whole world. But then on other days when I just talk to my mum and we're talking about the current situation, and like I said, it's been a year since I've seen her, over a year actually. And just knowing that she's missing all of my daughter growing up and I haven't hugged her in over a year, yeah, that wears me down a little bit. And whatever issues you have, if your well-being at the moment is just not great, or not just at the moment, I'm sure before the year 2020, mums struggled as well, so that doesn't even have to do anything with what's going on at the moment. I'm just saying at the moment is a tough time for a lot of mums. I mean, what a great time to be a first-time mum during a pandemic, right? But yeah, before 2020, and I'm sure after 2020, there will always be mums around the world who who just have issues and who are not always happy, and that's okay. Again, they should feel guilty, but they do feel guilty. People need to be more accepting. They can't just, especially people who haven't had children, they can't just be standing on the outside saying you shouldn't have those issues, you shouldn't feel sad. They should just be accepting of the fact that sometimes as a mum you struggle and sometimes you are feeling sad. You can't be happy 24/7. You just can't. And you might be accepting that for other people who don't have children, but like I said, a mum, no. Mums shouldn't be sad, ever, because mums have the greatest gift in life. They have a baby. And as I said before, I am very considerate of people who have struggled and who would give anything to have a child. I am beyond grateful to have my daughter. But do I sometimes have tough days? Am I sometimes sad? I'm not always happy. That's okay. That's okay. It's just, please, can people stop it with expecting mothers to always, from mornings to evenings, through the night, and again, start the same day with a big smile and never, never admit that they are not happy. People need to reach out. Mums need to be accepted. Mums, not just mums, dads as well. Dads are struggling all around the world as well with adjusting to having a child. And dads are not always happy. Doesn't mean they are horrible dads because they say, you know what, I'm not doing so well right now. It's just, it needs to stop. Just like the judgment, the constant judgment. As a mother, your feelings still matter. You're still, initially, you're still the same person you were before you gave birth. And just because your baby is now priority doesn't mean that your feelings don't matter anymore, your well-being doesn't matter anymore, your mental health doesn't matter. It does. If anything, it matters more than ever because you have so much going on. And now, as a mum, as a new parent, it matters more than anything how you're doing. So don't feel bad if you're not happy all the time. Don't feel guilty that you can't always smile. Don't feel guilty if you want to cry. It is okay. You matter, your feelings matter, and especially right now, just keep in mind you are not alone. There are thousands and thousands of mums feeling lonely, feeling isolated, just wanting a hug, just wanting people just wanting to meet people, hanging out with people, talking about their issues. You're not alone, and your feelings 100% matter.